Welcome back. Market Mastery, the 1 hour you need in the market to make sense and make some money. We somehow finished the day green on the SPY. We are going to dial in on that. Again, if you want the SPY Playmaker plays, we will be posting the link so that you can get them. We are going to break down a few things for you today I think you're really going to love. Obviously, updates on all the tickers that you want to see, but we're going to talk a little bit more about how we determine the levels that we're trading, and we're going to use the SPY to do that. I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough on exactly what I'm looking through on these levels. And then if you want the actual options trades, you can get that in the Penny Boys Discord or sign up specifically for SPY Playmaker Pro. It's $4 a month. That gives you weekly SPY options trades, bull and bear, so that you make money regardless of where the market goes. So let's get right into it today. So we've got a pretty good market setup here. I mean, if you zoom out and you look at the daily, we recaptured pretty quickly. The SPY is looking really interesting. I think this break above 613 was the critical move needed before we enter price discovery and we start pushing back up. So we're going to eliminate everything on this chart and we're going to work through a few things to show you here's kind of how I'm going to look forward at everything that's going on and how we're going to kind of map out all those support and resistance levels on a chart that looks good. So this is the SPY. We're going to go through a few to see which one will give us the best example out of the ones everyone's looking for. I think NVIDIA will probably end up being it because it has created a very simple pattern that I think will benefit you guys greatly using. So I am going to give you guys a second to check in the chat. If you're in the Discord already, just hit us with your Discord username. Say what's up. If you're new, just type new. Sometimes we get a little generous, give away some stuff. So if you want to be a part of those giveaways, if they happen, you need to be commenting. So I'll give you guys a second to get in there and post about it. Looking forward to very much, hopefully meeting some new people here. Hopefully you've come to the stream. So let me get this posted here. Give it just a second. We got SPY holding over 613, which is interesting. Now we're going to talk some NVIDIA. Talk about our next target on NVIDIA that we've been holding since about 15 a share. And then we obviously got to talk Palantir. All doing it live right now. As always, if you retweet it, I would appreciate it. You guys are the best. I appreciate the support. I'm glad you're all here. So let's get into it. So we are going to look at, both of you are not new, so I don't appreciate that, Daniel or Porter. So we're looking at NVIDIA, right? And so anytime we're looking at the technicals on a chart, we want to understand first and foremost that these technicals are just basically a visual representation of buyers and sellers fighting back and forth in the ultimate game of tug of war. It is quite literally that simple. So when you look at a stock with NVIDIA, start big and go smaller. So let's say we start with the horizontal line and we go right here. Everyone's like, how the hell did you choose that? Well, to put it simply, the stock broke out here, failed, broke out here, failed, then got rejected, which tells me, hey, this could be a pivot. Then after we traded down for a while, it broke out again, and this was actually the breakout point before we tested a new all-time high. Then after, we got another confirmation that this price level mattered, and then again, and again, and again, and again, enough so to say, hey, 130 a share, that matters for NVIDIA. When buyers are still coming in at 140, 150, that means confidence is there, and we're going to $200. If buyers are only coming in below 130, then that means that we need to find price stability and we need to build a range between maybe 110 and 135. And then that way, hey, this stock is probably just going to trade in this range for quite a period of time. Nice to meet you, Greg. Nice to meet you, Gavin. Glad you're here. So that means that stock's going to just trade sideways for quite a period of time. And you don't want to be involved in a trade like that because that means you're wasting your time. It means your money is sitting there stagnant rather than growing. So again, all we did was put one horizontal line in the chart. And do you see how much more of the story we have now? Does everyone see that? Check it in the chat. One, if you get it, 2 if you need me to explain it a little more. Just check in. Where are you at? Got almost 100 people in here, so I want to make sure you guys are getting it. So when we're looking at these, as I said, like all we did was put one line on the chart. We defined one thing. And already from defining one thing, we actually have some directional understanding. Like we actually kind of know, hey, if it goes below 130, I might become a bear. Above 130, I'm going to stay a bull. That way, if you like NVIDIA, you like their business model, and you think there's going to be volatility either way, either it's overpriced and it's going to sell off, or it's underpriced and it's going to appreciate, you now know that enough to get in the trade. So from there, it's determining what side of the trade. That, if you're not in Penny Boys, if you're not in the Discord, again, the link's at the bottom to get our free guide to survive the stock market. I would start there. Just start there. Get to understand the vocabulary and some of the simple rules. Then we can get into, hey, I'm trading NVIDIA on and off, but I want to hold some. How do I know if I should hold it or not? And then we'll go through together. That's what we do. And we help coach you so that you can determine what strategy makes sense based on everything we've done. So we'll help you determine a strategy, walk you through it, and then you'll be trading over our shoulder to ensure that you don't obviously make some large critical mistakes. So again, we put one line on the chart and all of a sudden we have a much clearer picture than we did before. So now that we have the one line, let's place the second so that we know what we're actually dealing with here. Because stocks will often trade in a range for a period of time and consolidate until finding that price discovery mode again. So we know when NVIDIA was down here trading at about 40 a share from August or May 23rd all the way to January. So an entire year almost. And this stock barely moved. Barely moved. Then we've got a period of time from October to February, so 6 to 8 months, where the stock didn't move. If you bought it on October of 2024 and then you still had it in February of 25, your money is the exact same. So we don't want to park our money when it's just going to end up wasting 6 months of our time. So now we have a little more information. Again, we've placed 2 lines on a chart, and we already have a pretty clear picture of when we should buy and sell NVIDIA based on statistical probabilities. We know that when it breaks up over 150, right, that's our resistance, 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 resistance. We know it's there. When it breaks over it, we know that it's probably going to go another 10%. And look at that. It broke 148 and it ran another 10% just about. We know that when it's below 150, it's going to move like a magnet towards 129. And it's just going to go boom, 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 boom. So when you master a chart in the range, you could trade here, 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 here. You created 8 trades if you trade options that would have made you over 100% if you had traded them intraday. Or one long-term options play that compounded 400% and you just let it sit. This strategy is the most flexible of any. You can leverage it for the short term as well as the long term. So understanding a few technical pieces to this puzzle gives you a much clearer picture than before you knew those things. So again, I hope that what just occurred is the light switched on for you and you're like, oh my God, this guy put 2 horizontal lines on a chart. Now all of a sudden, I actually kind of get it. If that's the case, go get the free guide to survive the stock market and get in the Discord so that you can get a coach and really push, because right now you have the moment of opportunity. So that's what we're looking at for NVIDIA. Now, in terms of determining longer term price targets, again, you guys know I'm a fan of just short term fib retracements. I think that's one of the cleanest ways to understand what type of market has been created with a stock. So, I was clicking the wrong thing. My bad. So we just want to find local high, local low, and now we have our numbers. And then we just want to see how well do they match up with what we're already doing. And it looks like we're pretty close right here. So our level was 148, and it identified the retracements would put that level at about 153. So 5% differential, I'll take it. So either way, this broke out heading to 194. So above 150, NVIDIA is going to 200. put it that way. So again, here's what we did. We put 2 horizontal lines on the chart. We talked a little bit, and then we used one automated tool. We drew from the local high, or the most relative high, to the relative low, obviously discounting what's happening today, just to get a clear picture of where this could go. And then all we're doing is betting in that direction. That's all this is. This is the highest likelihood of occurring. I'm going to jump in and put my money here. And then hopefully I win, cash it out, and I do it again. So I hope that, again, what you guys learned in the last 10 minutes is, okay, I can use really only 2 things, a horizontal line and Fibonacci retracements, to fully understand if this stock is in a position where me buying it is a good idea based on the technical levels and what the chart's presenting. Now, the second layer to that is where you get a coach and we help you craft your own custom trading plan, because that needs to be personal. This part that I just taught you is the easy part. This is the simplicity of it that anyone can do with a little bit of effort. So basically, you just want to use this as a means to better understand the process. I asked ChatGPT to explain it like a little kid because I feel like I'm going to over-explain it. Ethan just brought up the Fibonacci to explain it, right? Like, so what is it? Was anybody wondering that? Like, put a 1 in the chat if you know. Put a 1 in the chat if you understand what Fibonacci retracements are. Put a 2 if you would like me to explain it. So again, 1 in the chat if you are confident and comfortable and you understand Fibonacci retracements. 2 in the chat if you don't and you want to. If you have a question, or I could explain it a little more. I guess I explained it pretty well. It's pretty similar to what I was said. Mathematical probability, correct. So when we use the Fibonacci retracements, all we're doing is trying to kind of, again, weigh probabilities. So what we're saying is, hey, based on the price data from January all the way to April, if you were to put that in a sample, what is that price data telling you that the most likely likely retracement, right, that could occur? And that's all these are a function of percentage. So when you see this one that they say is a 0.61 fib, right, that's the golden mean. So again, this is much more of like, get a coach, come join us, get a coach. They'll explain this one-on-one. It'll be a lot easier to understand than on a stream. But effectively, we're just grabbing all of the buys and sells, and we're creating a map of here's where we went and here's where we can go. And all the Fibonacci retracement is doing is calculating what those percentages are and making it visual for you. So again, this is all zeros and ones. It's all just data. It's just making it visual. The retracements help you visualize what the next point of contention will be for that stock. Does that make sense? Put a 1 if that makes sense. Put a 2 if I need to explain it a little differently. Did that make sense to you when I explained it? Okay, good. All right, so we're going to see if we can apply what we just learned to a new chart that everyone has been asking me about, which is Tesla. We've been trading this one. We've been holding this one. We were buyers at 100. We were buyers at 140. This is a long hold for me. So anything we talk about here is just going to be pretty straightforward as far as like a trade idea. I'm maintaining my long-term position. I'm no intention of selling it right now. So let's throw our first line on there. Where are we going to put this first line? What price level and why? Where should it go? What price level should this be at? See how much everybody's learned. Because there's kind of only one that matters now, in my opinion. Everyone can answer. Let's hear it. What price level? Where do we start with Tesla? Where does the first line go? $270 and $300. I'll say 260. Who could tell me why? Why 160? 260, excuse me. Because again, I want to challenge you all to just think visually, right? Just look at just this. Forget everything that happened before. Look at just this that I've circled. Look at just this. Forget all this. Doesn't matter. Just look at just this. You know something interesting about this line? Where does it sit when you consider the whole scope of this data right here? Where does this line sit? Right in the middle. Right in the middle. So here's where everyone goes wrong. Everyone goes wrong because they're too worried about all of this, which has virtually no relevance to us at all. So because everyone's worried about the whole picture, they're missing the point that this part of the picture doesn't matter. Only this does. And when you can break these elements apart, right? Or even better, I mean, these tools, you don't have to get into using all these because I think you can definitely overuse them. But I know you guys used to love watching these, like the fib circles, right? Where you're basically just showing visually where your market is. Across all this data. So do you see how this lines up physically? Isn't that odd how it lines up like this? You can see where it just followed these arcs perfectly, almost. So now the points of confluence, well, there's really only one, would be 255 in February of 2026. So for those that want to take it to the next level and like learn how to understand time as it relates to options to not only determine price targets, but also have a good understanding of how much time it'll take to reflect, definitely join the Discord. That's more of an advanced options thing that we work through, but I think there'll be time well spent. So nevertheless, if we look at this as a whole, we find that the one line we drew was right in the center. And I would say that already gave us a much clearer picture. Okay, so we don't like Tesla under 260, but we love it over 260. And we're over 260. So you know what that tells me? I don't need to really do anything here. I'm already holding the stock. I'm not doing anything else. I just want to have notifications set up in case we go below 260. So if anyone has experienced any anxiety over the Tesla trade, you shouldn't have. You didn't need to. And we could show you how. It's got to get you a coach and a plan to where you should have a document that dictates how you trade. It should not be an opinion or a choice in the moment. That should be predefined before a dollar goes into the market. That's the number one thing I think we do best is prepare you for that reality. Most don't. They just send you a bunch of trade alerts and say, good luck. We're going to make sure you actually understand what the hell you're doing. It'll be frustrating because you're just going to want to, trade, pump and dump dog shit stocks and think you're going to make money when that's not the way you're going to make money. So we want to stay focused on the methodology and the understanding and make sure that we're doing it right. So now I want to call attention to a different name, CrowdStrike, one of the tech names that we have been talking about since the first big sell-off at 220. I was a buyer on this at like 230. I got pretty lucky. I only had a couple shares, but it's basically doubled since then. Cybersecurity has the hot hand, but keep in mind, because this is one I've gotten in DMs. So let's now use that same thing we just learned to understand whether or not it makes sense to actually get in this trade right now. Like, does this actually make sense to me? Does this make sense to me? And make sure you hear this. I'm not saying make sure this makes sense to you. I'm saying make sure it makes sense for you. That it actually benefits you. That it's actually in line with your methodology, which you won't have unless you have a trading plan, which you won't have unless you have a coach, which you can get in the Discord. So that said, looking at this on the whole, our second extension would be $632 a share. So people go, oh shit, I'm going to buy it now. It's only at 500. But how long is it going to take for this stock to bounce 500, maybe 300 again, back up to 400, and then eventually in 5 years it's at 600 when there were 10 other stocks that ran the same percentage in 2 weeks. So we don't want to get trapped in what could be a solid stock, a solid name, but the timing just isn't right. So another good example would be Robinhood. So all of our targets have been hit. And now we can determine new ones because now that we have a new local high. Now, look at it this way. So we bought Robinhood. We bought this stock below $10. We bought it down here, like $8, right? It's currently at 90, so 10x. Kobe. That was awesome. But now the same strategy that helped us determine whether or not it's a good time to buy or whatever also now can keep us in the trade so we don't throw away free money. Because here's what's happened to a lot of traders. I didn't know how long I should hold it, so I sold, and then it ran another 8,000%. And I want those of you that are our students to speak up. I see you, Latvian, TNT, Doctor. Like, do you guys who have been with us for a while, you now know I can go do a little bit of charting and understand if this stock is done. But more importantly, I can go figure out where the pivot point is for Robinhood. And I would tell you, it's $85. So that way, you know, below 85, I'm probably going to kill it. I'm going to cut it out. I made 10x my money. I'm going to walk away and go put it in something else. More importantly, if you didn't buy Robinhood and right now you're experiencing FOMO, I want to make sure that you understand that this company was available and accessible to you when we bought it at $9, $8, and it's up 10x, and we're not buying more now. But we're going to hold what we have because I think this can go to 120, 130. So it helps you in every area. Investing, trading doesn't matter. If you have a money manager who's got you in a bunch of mutual funds, and you think the market's going to drop 20% because you actually know what you're doing, you'd go to cash. And instead of him sitting there collecting his fee while your money's depleting, it's sitting there in cash. You're paying him, but at least you're protected. You can't time the market, but timing is important. So looking at those, there's one more. Palantir. Same example of all these plays that have just been absolutely explosive, and everyone's wondering how long is it going to keep going? Well, again, a simple tool like the retracements and a simple, thing like having a coach gives you all that. So now you look at Palantir and you go, wow, that got rejected instantly on the third extension. Maybe it's not going to keep going, and it might not. But guess what? Until it breaks down below 108, we're never going to find out. So as long as Palantir holds above 108, I'm holding. Done and done. So now let's say, hey, dude, I didn't follow you back then. I didn't get in on any of these trades. It's cool. Great. I'm glad you made money. But what have you done for me lately? The same strategy I showed you can then be used for momentum trading. So let's say Robinhood or Palantir breaks over 147. I know that if volume is good and this breaks over 147, we can shoot for 160, 170. And we can Momo day trade this or swing trade it, right? Hold it for a few days. This gives you the ability to enter and exit the market at any time. This is how you become an actual ninja. you don't have to wait for a million things to line up. You just go look at the opportunity. If it's good, you get it. If it's don't, you don't. You come to the market, you look at what's available. If the options are good, you take a seat. If the options are bad, you leave the table. I'm just showing you the skill you need to sit at that table and win over and over and over, regardless of what industry, regardless of what the company is, regardless of what they do, and regardless of what you know. If you know these couple things, you can do this, which means you can enter and exit at any point in time in any stock or any crypto or anything that has a physical chart. You can now jump into because you understand the dynamics. So if you're watching the stream and you've never really made money trade, now you know, holy shit, it was that simple. Everyone was just too busy trying to get rich selling me bullshit that they forgot to teach me how to actually do it. I'm going to teach you how to actually do it, and then I want you guys to come to our events and join us. I'll make money there and I'll be happy. But I'll teach you first so that you can make money that we can all share by making you better. That's the goal. I think good business is transparent. And we show everything we do. We show our work on everything. And the goal is to give you the opportunity that's been withheld from you. I like that. Functionality creates good mentality. There you go. Young Ethan for the win. If you can't use it, it doesn't help you. So last chance before we move on and get into some smash or pass. What are we thinking here? One, if it makes sense, the strategy at large. I would just love a 1 in the chat if you guys are hearing what I'm saying and understanding, like, okay, this can apply to almost any strat. This can help me execute almost any strategy. This is a fundamental skill I just need to know to be in the markets. This makes me much better at money. So 1, if you get it and it makes sense. 2, if you have a question or you'd like further clarification on a specific thing. Without feedback, we cannot grow. So I will wait for you guys. Clockwork. Look at that. Boop, 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 boop. You guys can become the master of these charts. It's weird. AMD's actually up right now. No. So AMD was already done. I did last time. So over 123, great sign. Just needs to stay there. That's the midline. So above 123, NVIDIA's gold. And like eventually, where do we go? Personally, I think we're just going to follow this. And we're just going to, because I think the smart money and true value capture is everyone that's bought there. Notice how these just somehow continue to show up geometrically. Like, you need to see the geometry in this. That's how you really unlock this. If you can see the abstract geometry, or if you can put the abstraction aside to see the geometry, it's very simple. It's just hard. Shapes and colors. Be a child. Look at it as shapes and colors. It's much easier to understand. Because, again, if I explained to you what this actually was, it'd be confusing. But I said, hey, I just drew a line between the middle of where people like to buy and sell. That's all I did. That's your trend line. So, again, the example with the dog. If I'm walking a dog and I'm not good at walking dogs and my dog doesn't respect me, my dog's walking ahead of me, right? And my dog is just weaving across the sidewalk, going to each side over and over. The dog is the price. The sidewalk is that pivot point, trend line, whatever you want to look at it as. The dog dog always has to cross the sidewalk to go to the other side. So what that tells you is this is the magnet. So if the company does what it says it's going to do, this goes up and to the right. If the company does a great job making people excited about what it's going to do, the stock will jump off this line for a little bit of time. If they execute and overperform, people start getting real excited. Now the stock starts to really bounce off that line. But if you look at it, what does it always do? Every time. I need you guys to answer this. What does the price always seem to do? So even when everyone's excited and they're like, AMD is going to be the biggest thing ever, and it blows up, and then, AMD sucks, it's not going to beat NVIDIA. Oh, AMD is going to beat NVIDIA. Oh, it's not going to be NVIDIA. Government contract, we're going to be NVIDIA. Oh, we're not. We're the worst. Because all the market's looking at is at this line. And you're just trying to decide if they're doing what they say they're doing. And does it match? Because if it matches, then you just buy this line until about here, which means you would have bought AMD over 3 years with a cost basis of probably about $55 a share. And in the 5 years that followed, you tripled your money. Pretty simple. So again, the technicals are just an easy way for you to visualize these things. That's all it is. So, one, if you understand that this line is just simply the projection of what the company says they're going to do, and it's where the stock will go if they meet those obligations. Two, if you don't see the relationship between this line and the buyers and sellers. Okay, there's 250 people, so one answer will not do. Come on, give me something. Give me something. So I'm assuming no one's listening because I don't have ones and zeros, ones and twos. I don't get on ones and twos, baby. Come on, hit that chat. Just type it even if you don't want to. Tammy says, is anyone listening? All right, if we get people engaged in here, maybe we'll go through and dig through a chart and find something cool to look at. But I need to be motivated. Motivate me. Just kidding. But yeah, so one in the chat, if you understand what we're explaining, that this line is just the projection of what the company is going to do, and the price is how well they matched it. Did they meet or beat or break expectations? If you understand that, press 1. If you don't understand how that relates to the stock chart, you press 2. Put a 2 in there. Nice to meet you, Eric. Good to meet you, my friend. Cools, what's up, guy? We're gonna do that. If everybody taps in here, we're gonna go hunting. We're gonna go through the watch list and we're gonna go hunting for a trade. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're going to go through and we're going to find a trade idea. If we get enough engagement here, we get 1 or 2 answers. Come on. So 1, if you understand this. 2, if you don't and you want me to explain it a little more simply. Eric, the blue line right through the center. So basically, too long didn't read. Company's expectations, the market's expectations for the company are measured by this line. The buyers and sellers determine if they're meeting the expectations, and they buy or sell based on that. So when the stock is really high above the line, most of them are selling. When the stock's really far below the line, most of them are buying. because you get paid when it normalizes, aka goes back to the line. So again, if you bought at 77, what did it do? Like a magnet, right back to the line. Right back to the line. So again, if you understand this, press a 1. If you don't, a 2. Yes. So Eric, that's a great question. So you always want to look at everything as a reversion to the mean, always in the market. But our job is to figure out what is the mean. And that's what that trend line is. That is the mean. So that's actually a great way to put it. I'm really glad you said that. That is it. So for AMD, I think this is actually going to be the one. For this, I would target a very specific trade. Now, let me ask you this. Based on what you see here and what we just explained, do you think our trade is going to be bearish or bullish? Well, let's get a vote. So 1 if you're a bull, 1 if you're a bear. Do you think this AMD trade is going to be a bearish or bullish trade? 1 bullish, 2 bearish. Does AMD look bullish or bearish? Type a 1 or 2 in the chat. So 1 being bullish. So we got 2 votes. We got 3 votes. Bullish, 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 bullish. Everybody's bullish, AMD. You got to also remember there's a difference between short and long term. So everybody gets bullish. I would say the absolute opposite for a short-term trade. I would say that we found our mean. We are approaching it. We do have a point of confluence, 158 and a quarter, 158 and a half. But we have time. So either this is going to have a really good day and hit this resistance and break through. And I think it's going to get rejected. And then I think we're going to come back here before we go anywhere else. We're going to come back to 121. Or the less likely scenario, this is not the one I'm be betting on, breaks out, holds, and then goes. That would not be the best situation, but nevertheless, we know what our stop loss is. So now let me ask you guys this. Where would we like to focus to try and determine an appropriate stop loss? So all a stop loss is it's an automatic way to protect you when the trade invalidates. So all you're looking at all day, every day is a market state where you're either validated or invalidated. That is it. Chart valid, chart invalid. If you have a trading plan that talks about what type of trades make sense for you and your lifestyle and your income level, you already know the answer to those questions. If it validates or invalidates your trading plan, then it's just a matter of yes or no. Everybody's really worried about this. It doesn't matter. If you have the trading plan and the discipline, you will win because you could trade technicals alone, which indicators can now do automatically and make money every day, which literally, so if you don't want to know any of this, here, I'll just give you the cheat code. I shouldn't be doing this, but there, get stocks, buddy. Just use it. You don't ever need to learn technicals ever again because it does it for you. So if you look at this like on the monthly, this is what I like to use it on, is the monthly chart. Look at how glorious that is. First of all, that you had a bull signal on AMD at 13. Obviously, it rode that out. First take profit was at 100, so that's a 10x. Then it gave a secondary entry at 72. And then it did another take profit 134, but it did go to 160. So basically right here, if you just bought and sold off of these signals, you would have gone from 14 to 160, so 10x. And then you would have gone again from 79 to 231. And then you would have bought again at 110. And that price target hasn't been hit yet. And then the best part is it automatically calculates the stop loss for you based on the trade parameters. So you can see right there that it's calculating $76 as the pivot point for this to no longer be bullish on the weekly chart or monthly chart, excuse me. So if you don't ever want to do technicals at all, just use stocks, buddy. I use it every day. It makes my life so much easier. It's just a quick confirmation. Like you can see how easy it makes it. Changes the candle colors and everything. When it's bullish, they're green. The cool part is it also maps out support and resistance for you and trends. So see these white lines in the background? They're kind of hard to see. So so you can become a chart expert if you can just learn how to trace. So all we did was trace that trend line that StockBuddy automatically calculates and extend it out. And now you know long-term resistance. You could do it very similarly right here and end up with very similar to our pivot right there. So do you see these white lines in the background? Again, you can change the settings so it's more visible. But again, it does everything for you. It determines the entry. It calculates the stop loss automatically. And then it definitely maps out the ranges and helps you trace the trend lines. But yeah, so you definitely need to get in there and use that. All right, let's get into it here. Smash or pass, drop the tickers in the chat. We're going to knock these out, go through all the tickers you want to look at with a quick technical standpoint. We're going to look and see if any of them materialize into trades. You guys have brought me some absolute bangers, so I hope that you continue to do so. I think we build the watch list actually off the back of these. That would be probably the best thing. Because we farmed out the research ended. You guys are doing Ring Central. Interesting. Oh, boy. Interesting. So we used Ring Central for a short period of time for the nonprofit, for the hotline. It was not the best platform. They have so much data. Wow, that's super interesting. Holy shit, Coles. I got to take this, I think. God, but their business, though. I got to look into this. That was a good find. This chart is ridiculous. There's so much upside. If this is real, basically, if the company's actually real and there's something worth it, this could be insane. This actually could be this could be our next 10 bagger, 100%. And so everyone knows that's how these have all kind of emerged. I feel like I see a chart once because you guys are looking at cool stuff, and then all right, let's take a look on. I'm going to go to the NASDAQ website really quick and just look at the earnings. I don't want to stream their website because it sucks. It's the worst. So it'll just freeze. Oh, yeah. Oh, we got to get an options trade going here. So they have expected growth Q2 through Q1 of 26. This is a winner. Cool's good find. That a boy. All right, so guys, make sure you're logged into the Discord. This will be we're going to craft a trade idea around this, I think, and we're going to post this in the Discord. So make sure you join. You can go straight through the WAP page or just go straight to the Discord. I would just go to wap.com/pbalerts to get access. You can get the free trial. I would definitely grab that today so you can have access for the week. But we're going to break down that RNG trade idea. Cool's good find. So we need to do a little fundamental. Make sure this isn't nonsense. Because technicals are just, this is glowing. Like this is a 10. If this isn't bullshit, this is a 10 bagger. But it might be bullshit. So just so everyone knows, until we go through the data and we do the research, we do not know. Chart looks great, but this company could be a total scam. So keep in mind, or say there's no more growth for them, right? Or AI is going to kill them. You don't know. So please keep that in mind. I'm not jumping into anything. I'm going to research it a little more in depth, and then we're going to post it to everyone in the Discord. So if you're not in, get in so that you can get that trade idea when it comes. ELMD. Why does he keep doing this? Wow, this is weird for, I'm assuming this is biotech or is this med tech? Looky Lou. It applies again. Does everyone see that? That midline? Perfect application. And now look, Did you want to be the person buying up here? I hope this gives a totally new perspective to everyone. Do you want to be the guy buying up here? If you know that the baseline reality, if you know the truth is this blue line, why would I buy it here? Unless we redefine what it means to tell the truth, why would I buy it up here? I wouldn't. I'd buy it down here. Wouldn't I? So this is where we get into the whole idea of conviction. The point is that you know 5 to 10 companies so well that you can have that conviction so that this all applies. And then all of a sudden, trading, investing is easy now because you just literally you have this blue line. You go, oh, we're way below it. I'm going to go ahead and buy some. That's it. You don't have to do anything. And then when it comes back to the midline, oh my God, now it's up to 35 and I bought it at 4, 10x. Boom, done. So knowing what we know now, do we like the buy here at 22? Is that a good deal? Yes or no? Put a 1 if it's yes, 2 if it's no. Is it a good deal to buy this at 22? This should change your life. This should be such a fresh perspective that you go, holy shit. And if you're new and you got this kind of change in an hour, just imagine what it would be like if you put more time into this. Again, the most successful people that are with us are the lifetime members. Why? Because they committed. They're all in. So they took it seriously. So we had these kind of conversations, and now some of them are probably going to be more skilled than us pretty soon. But it changes the whole frame of reference. I'm not tweaking about buying it at 22 when I can just go look and go, oh, yeah, no, that's way too high. So look at this blue line as just the true value. That's the true value of the company. So if the true value right now is 17, 18 a share, why would I want to pay 22? Does that make sense? Put a 1 if it makes sense. Put a 2 if I'm not making any sense. Okay, good. All right. The ELMD, and then we got RLZV. And what the hell? Which you said RZLV? Oh, resolve. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Ooh. Interesting. So again, let's do one more test. What price data do we care about on this chart? So hopefully you had time to answer. We only care about this. Why? Because what is this going to do for me? Nothing. But then also, if we're maintaining the same philosophy, this one's going to be hard to do. But yeah, give or take. Does everyone see that as the exact, there's nothing's different. We're not doing anything. Nothing's changed. Same philosophy. There's their midline. So resistance going through. It's where all the critical price interactions happen. Like we tried to break out here, failed, got rejected, went down to fucking $1. And at a huge volume, but are kind of in no man's land. So a lot of room to run up. But again, you got to look left too. Yeah, see the whole picture. All right, one or two more KMI. Oh wow, Kinder Morgan. What the hell is this? Candy or something? It's the Kinder shit. What is Kinder? Kinder eggs? That's what it is.
I think so, yeah. Should be.
Is that all they?
Huge company.
So see, you got like two different realities here with this one. That's why this is crazy. Oopsies.
Energy infrastructure.
Oh. So if we again just use two lines to understand where is Kinder Morgan trading, it's really got two options: above 32 or below 17. Everything else will happen in between, but that's a great range to trade with. You can get some huge 100% swings. So be careful. Just make sure you understand the overarching macros for stuff like that, commodities and such. This actually looks kind of interesting. I've never understood what they did. I just remember hearing about it. There you go. And look at that. There's your harsh reality that more trades aren't actually better. And that you're actually incentivized to trade more because that's where they're capturing their spreads now. That's where they're getting their fees, is what trading's free. Why is my chart not showing it over all-time highs? What do you mean? Oh, I had it on like the weekly. I don't know which one you're talking about, but yeah, that one is fine if it holds trend. But I just don't think there's that much meat on the bone there, because see, you're starting to already express that it's expanding. All right. So again, you can find us in the Discord. We are trading almost 5 days a week live over the shoulder. If you want to learn how to do this the right way, we will show you. We'll get you a coach. We'll get you a plan. You'll go into this with confidence. And you'll finally walk out with a little bit of money in your pocket. So thank you for coming back. Thank you for showing up for the first time. We're here every week, 6 p.m. Eastern for Market Mastery. I love y'all. Stay blessed now. Bye-bye.